Hello.
Hello there, we're back, and today we've got something really exciting. We got Mr. James, DJ James from the Silent Adventures. So let's bring him in and let's let him introduce himself almost.
Hello.
Yeah! Bright
are.
and yellow, here he is, and pink.
Very yellow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to brighten up everyone's moods.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would you call it canary yellow?
I think it technically is canary yellow. Very good spotting of colours.
Well, it's a very
Yes, I think.
Australian sports colour, canary yellow.
Of course it is. Of course it is. I love that. Yes, no, I'm trying to be bright. Oh, it's a beautiful day here. We're in Leith, in the back of or the north of Edinburgh, in Scotland. Actually, it's a beautiful day, so I'm going with the mood.
Exactly. Yeah, we can't. We're probably going to go for a walk later as well to enjoy the sun.
You can be our ray of sunshine for the moment.
Yes. Canary, Ray, which one is it?
Yeah, there we go.
Awesome. James, are we supposed to call you James or DJ James? What's your?
I think I could ditch the DJ. That's a title I've not heard used in front of my name for a long time. No, we could go with James, I think.
Okay, we'll go with James. So, James, you and Jay actually, like about 3-4 years ago, had this amazing, like especially you had this amazing idea to kind of turn your hobby into a job. So, do you want to talk us through how that actually came about?
Yeah, sure. Silent Adventures has been born, I guess it's probably been born over the last 20 years, just without really realizing it. A very long gestation period for this one. My background and Jay's background, my business partner, was both in radio back in our student uni days at Edinburgh University. And from there, we both went into nightclubs as DJs. So kind of radio and nightclubs has always been in the groove. And when finally the technology came out, sort of take silent discos out and about into the open, we were like, this is a gift for what we do. Taking entertainment out for the masses is a dream come true. And so the second that we knew that kind of the batteries were out there for little transmitters, baby transmitters, we thought, let's create a tiny baby radio station that we can take out wherever we want. And so Silent Adventures was born.
That is so amazing. So did you actually start silent disco things first and then started to evolve a little bit more in the touristy world, or did you do both at the same time?
No, weirdly, we've sort of gone the other way, really. I think a lot of companies that do silent discos wouldn't touch our weird turf of being out on the street.
Yeah.
We've kind of gone the other way. We started from being on the street, and now have a reputation as well for doing silent discos. So, for example, we do the Hogmanay in Edinburgh, Edinburgh's official Hogmanay, every year, and we put 5,000 people on the street for that this year.
I know.
So that's kind of silent disco on a massive scale.
Yeah.
That's kind of grown from our other products. So it's nice to see the company evolving.
We've got that picture of Hogmanay. That's just amazing. So talk us through, when did you first get that contract, and how did that feel? That must have been amazing.
2020 was our second year running that. We work with the Underbelly as part of the Fringe, Edinburgh Fringe, every year. So we work with them for our Fringe show, and they came to us after the Fringe a couple of years back and said, would we do the big Hogmanay event? And we were delighted. It's very much what we do. Relatively easy for us to do it. And I'm delighted to say it's sold out the last, both years. So it's proving very successful.
And, I think probably everyone knows what a silent disco is about, but do you want to just quickly explain how do you do it? What is it? Why is it so special? And how can you not, you just get sucked into it, don't you? Like if you're a part.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, so a regular silent disco where it kind of evolved from originally would be in a space. It might be a nightclub. It could be anywhere, really. It could be your living room. And the joy of it is that there's no loud music, so you're not irritating the neighbours. But also the headsets have generally 3 channels, so you can listen to 3 different types of music at the push of a button. So one person could be dancing to one thing, and then your friend is dancing with you, but to something completely different, a song that they prefer. So you can have 3 completely different styles of music, all in the sort of same space, and you're not even irritating people.
Yeah, but your voice is always over the top of it, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the sort of traditional silent disco, and then our main product, we take on the street. So essentially, my character is a kind of Pied Piper character. I control the music. I teach people dance moves, and then we go off on a big bubble of love and joy around the city, bouncing around, interacting with things that we find, people we find, other groups we find. Spreading joy, really, and it's just about getting rid of people's inhibitions, making them just more joyful about the world around them, really, and giving them an hour of fun, dancey nonsense.
We've just got a picture up of probably the meadows, I think, and everyone's going crazy. I remember we did one of your tours for Jay's 40th. And
Yes.
Again, I'm totally with you, because we ended up screaming down George Street and talking to people. And, obviously, because you forget that they don't hear what you hear. So you just go, you sing out loud, and you feel like you can talk to everyone. So I totally get your point about it being just like inhibitions are lost. So how do you actually do different kinds of music while you're on tour with them? Does that work as well, or?
Yeah, generally we haven't. We've started just one. Well, just me. It's all about me on tour. But no, it's something we're looking at. Actually, we're looking at doing a children's tour at the moment that would very much have that multi-channel capability.
Yeah.
I won't say too much about it at the moment, but it's really exciting, and it's kind of more of an educational route, which I think will be really exciting. No, the inhibition thing is kind of fascinating. It's a lot of group psychology has gone into it. My degree is in psychology, so a lot of the product is based around group behavior, group dynamics.
And do you because they are tourist groups, aren't they? So it's not just, it's obviously locals, but also, so do you, how much of local information do you give them? Say, starting in Edinburgh, like how much?
We get a lot of people saying, how much? Yes, exactly that. How much are you going to tell us about the city, and at what age were the cobbles put down on the Royal Mile? I'm delighted to tell you that I have practically zero historical knowledge of our beautiful city. But what I can say is that we do take people around some of the cooler spots in town. So whilst I can't necessarily tell you when they were built, I can certainly show you them while dancing to ABBA.
Yeah. Okay. So you wouldn't call yourself a tour guide. You would rather say you take people in a dancey way.
I'm definitely, we describe ourselves as hosts.
Okay. So you started in Edinburgh, obviously, but it's grown, right? So it's not just Edinburgh now. Where Manchester, I know you know better.
Yeah, it's grown. The baby is growing, bless it. No, it's good. I mean, there are a lot of cities we hallmarked early on as being good contenders for our product, and God, can I name them? Let me see. This is a very good challenge for me.
Yes, he will be watching.
I don't know. Let's see how I do. Edinburgh for sure. Glasgow, Aberdeen, Dundee, Newcastle, Manchester, Liverpool, London, Dublin, Lisbon, Tenerife, Cardiff is coming up when the lockdown finishes. There you go. How's that?
Wow.
There you go.
That sounds amazing. A
few others in the pipeline, hopefully, as well, but some international ones that we're talking about at the moment.
And you try your best to keep them local, the guys you have running the discos for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the real key to any sort of entertainment-driven show, essentially, is the talent. And for us, the hardest thing is finding the hosts. We've been really lucky. There's so many talented people out there. And we're a mix of dancers, comedians, actors. I mean, take me. My dancing is horrific. But I can generally just about kind of distract people from that by jokes. So I've got that. Some of the team are amazing dancers, professionally trained, and the actors can generally do a bit of everything. So it's kind of horses for courses, and we've all got our own little skills and our favorite moves and our favorite tunes.
Yeah. So how many guides do you have, or hosts? Sorry, do you have in Edinburgh, for example?
I think Edinburgh sits at about, I think we've got 6 roughly, I would guess, somewhere around there in Edinburgh. Edinburgh's one of our big cities, mainly because of the Fringe.
Yeah.
The product's been here the longest, so we're the busiest of our cities. But having said that, some of the other cities are growing really fast. Glasgow, Manchester, Liverpool are very, very busy at the moment. At the moment, who am I kidding? So they're not busy at the moment. They would theoretically be very busy at the moment if we weren't all locked inside.
Yeah, so that's why we thought it was so amazing to have you here, because to remind people what could be there if it wasn't for a lockdown. And obviously at some point the lockdown will be lifted, and then we can all go back and be in Canary Yellow, or following the man in Canary Yellow.
Yeah, like Coiled Springs will be by then.
Yeah, look out.
Good point. So you actually have a little project going while you're locked down. So tell us about that.
Yeah, no, I mean, we are, as you can see, literally sat at home doing very little. And Jay and I were very keen to get both our individual skills, but also that of the team out and about, and to keep the brand alive and to keep people talking about us. So we came up with the puns. The puns have been flying on this one with our product, which is called Disco in Furlough. See what we did there? And it's basically what we do, but in people's living rooms. So I know that all TV shows at the moment are from people's living rooms. We're a bit different. We kind of make you the star of the show, really. And so I host it, but we dance. All the hosts from the different cities get together every Friday night at 6:00 and have a good dance. That's really what it boils down to. We just like on the tours, we teach you some moves so people can follow that in their living rooms. We have a few little celebrity spots where we have some celebs with requests, and we have it's really growing. We're about 500 people each week, which is lovely, and
wow.
it's great through Zoom,
okay.
and yeah, it's good. So, and also we can spotlight people. So if you're dancing in a particularly funny way, we can turn to you, put the camera on you,
Wow.
and you become the star.
Switched off as well.
We discourage that. People are really dressing up, though. We've had people dressed as dinosaurs. Oh, the wigs are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's worth a look.
I think people just need that release, don't they?
Yeah, we have a lot of lovely messages. We're not charging for it, and we wouldn't charge for it. Really, we live for the Facebook feedback and the lovely emails we've been getting. And I think people genuinely, they need that release on a Friday night. And just to be silly and knowing that 499 other people are being silly with them.
Yeah. You have one tune, or does everyone DJ like from your other hosts as well, or like do you take over? How does that work then?
Yeah, so we drive it centrally, so everyone's listening to the same thing, to the same tune, so everyone's doing the same thing, and we have silly games as well, like almost like child games. It's family friendly, so everybody from 5. We've got grannies and granddads doing it as well. It's like a very silly Joe Wicks with nobody either as talented as him. I'm thinking about myself here.
You've got much chance of pulling a muscle or doing a hamstring or something as well.
I don't know. I mean, people really go for it. I always end up in a massive sweat by the end of it.
Yeah, maybe you need a disclaimer or a warm-up session before to make sure no one,
Funny enough, we do have a disclaimer at the start. We have a slide that just slow and steady wins the race with this one.
How many vases or glasses have been broken during the show?
I'm guessing there's been a lot. We try to, if we see anybody doing something funny, we try and spotlight it and put it into our highlights video every week. And there's always hilarious things happening in the background of other houses. I think people forget that you're watching them just as much as they're watching you.
That's so funny.
But I think a whole part of the silent disco thing is as well. I know from when we did it, it's that whole, sing as if no one's listening and dance as if no one's watching. You can put your headphones on and you can just go off in your own little world. You sound brilliant when you've got music in your ears. It's
as in me specifically.
Well, anyone, I think. It's like you always sound better in your shower, or if you're singing along to the radio, no one can hear if you're not pitched perfect. It's you can.
I think that's right. I agree with that. If you listen to if you take your headphones off on one of our tours, the cacophony of singing is something to behold.
Yeah. So you had to kind of change your routes a little bit, didn't you? Because Royal Mile at times is super crowded, so it was a bit of an issue, wasn't it? When everyone was also singing aloud and kind of how did you manage that? How do you keep the crowd to not go crazy and be a nuisance to onlookers actually?
Yeah, I mean, we choose the routes. The routes are kind of dependent a little bit on the time of year. Like, you wouldn't want to go anywhere near the Royal Mile in Edinburgh during the festival.
Yeah.
It's just, you can't move as one person. So forget taking 50 people up the Royal Mile, all dancing and trying to keep them together. So we have to adapt depending on the time of year. We're sensitive to residential areas. That's important as well. We don't want to be upsetting people. But actually, the way we generally do it is we can choose music that suits the geographical spot. So if you're in somewhere like the Meadows, a big open park, you can sing your heart out, do all the big hitting sing-along numbers. But then if you're going past a street where there are offices working at 3 PM, we can choose something which is a bit more walking based, a bit more kind of finger clicking than shouty singy. So we're quite good at that.
Yeah. And this is how you train your own guy, like the hosts in other cities. You train them to know that exactly as well, right?
Yeah, we're very sympathetic to not just people, residents, but people moving around the street as well. And I know that silent discos all over the world get bad press from time to time. And the trick is, we take health and safety really seriously, and that's our priority. And that's all the tours are based, are founded on that. And then the fun bit's kind of bolted on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I suppose if it's your name, like all over the country, whether it's England, Scotland, or Spain, or Portugal, Ireland, it is pretty much a franchise. It's your name, isn't it? So
sure, yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure they've got guidelines. It's like, we don't want you stripping your gear off halfway through a show, or but you got to watch P's and Q's, I suppose, as well, because what you're saying is being broadcast to all these people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You'd be careful in any industry, a radio, any form of media, TV, radio. You've always got to think before you speak or say something, and that's the kind of radio presenter trick, isn't it? It's just before you actually say something on camera like this, just have that tiny split second of, is that a sensible thing to say, or is this going to come back and haunt me?
Yeah. But the good thing is you have the system, don't you? Because me being a tour guide, and I had those 50, well, no, not that many. I had 30 people at the Royal Mile during the festival, the cruise ship guys or something. And then if you didn't have the whisper system, then how do you do it? So that's the good thing about your system working so well, that they actually do follow you most of the time.
You could be that voice.
They're pretty good. Yeah, well, that's it. You're the voice of reason. That put on that deep, powerful, baritone, trustworthy sort of voice. Now we shall do this.
Yes.
You can
follow the leader.
You can be each voice on the shoulder,
I was just saying follow the leader. It's follow the leader now, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good. You can use that. You can have that. That's on me.
So
I was just thinking that
I
have said things though. I have said things on tour. Having said all of that, and then we've had people send us emails and going, you can't say that. And I've gone, why? What have I said? And it's actually cultural differences. There's some of the things that I've said that seem really harmless here in our culture that's really offended people. I wouldn't even dare tell you what they were here, because in case you've got people, but I've really upset people with really harmless words in our language that are a big deal in others.
Even in English speaking languages, coming from Australia to the UK, and then doing tours with Brits, with Americans, with South Americans, people from Europe, there's things that I would say that I would think, we're chatting between friends here, you can just say what you want. And then someone in the background sort of goes, oh, you've offended me. Like, so if you've got...
That's it. No, that's it. You can't win.
I've seen photos of your groups. You can have 30, 40, 50, 60 people. You're going to have one person who eventually sometimes is going to go, well, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I try and remember all these things. I really do. I don't always get it right. I guess that's the power of experience, right? You live and learn.
I know, and like you said, there's some words which mean nothing in one language and mean everything in another language, and even there's some Irish swear words no American would ever know it is one. So all these things. So. You're right, but the music probably tells the biggest story, doesn't it? So I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just I guess a sort of a catalyst for the entertainment. That's all I do. That's my job. As I say to the host when I'm training them, let the music do the talking. Don't over talk it. It's not a radio station, and ultimately people just want to listen to the tunes.
Yeah.
And I suppose another thing we've got to talk about is you can't come to Edinburgh without not expecting a little bit of adverse weather. How bad does it actually have to be for you guys to say, well, sorry, it's off?
I mean, singing in the rain, love a bit of that.
Yeah.
It's raining men. We've got weather songs. Any excuse to bring out the weather songs. No, let me think. When we have cancelled tours due to weather, Liverpool has been particularly bad for that. The West Coast seems to get the heavier rain.
Yeah.
We've been, actually in 3 years, we've been really lucky in Edinburgh. Rain, yes. Have I been absolutely sodden all the way through for days on end? Yes. But I don't mind it. I don't think it affects the bubble. If anything, it makes it sort of tighter, I think, as a unit, because it's just something a bit even weirder than normal.
Yeah, because it's not like with a big group, you can't just say, all right, we'll quickly duck into this cafe or bar until it blows over, because anyone who's lived in Scotland knows it doesn't just blow over. It's...
No. And the worst is when it's in the fringe, when we're doing 5-6 shows back to back and the rain starts on show 1 and you've got another 5 to get
and you're
through.
already soaked. It's different for them, isn't it? But yeah, we just showed that picture of everyone dancing like there's nothing else, and it's obviously very rainy. So I think you're right, but like you said, it's probably harder for you. And how much are the technical devices affected by it? Does that matter?
They've been great. We have never to date lost any of our tech due to water. So, and believe you me, we put it through the equivalent of showers for hours on end. So it's not. I don't think it's designed in any way to be particularly waterproof. But all the kit has been really good. We cover it all up. When it starts raining, we have little extra backpacks that we put on to protect it and keep it all kind of all happy.
Do you actually lose much gear through the season?
I mean, people break them by dropping them. Kids sometimes will, snap them by mistake. It's pretty good, we never quibble about that. It's just that's part of the business, part of how it is. So yeah, we don't lose sleep.
Biggest worry, yeah. So how long do the tours normally last? Is there like a longer and a shorter tour, or how do you?
No, 50 to 60 minutes always. There's a bit of scope for people. Some tours move faster than others. We did a tour for one of the music academies, one of the dance academies here, MGA in Edinburgh. We do their Freshers Week every year, and these guys, I mean, like the boys and girls, I say boys and girls, men and women, they're sort of 18 to 21. They go around the tour at such a pace. I'm at the back. They're off dancing. They're professional dancers and choreographers and stuff, so they're off, and the tour is over before you know it. So I have to kind of add extra bits of route to kind of keep them going. But then some of our tours go very slowly, so yeah, we have a bit of buffer for that.
And do you have people who come back over and over again? Because I could actually see becoming addicted to this, feeling like I need to go again.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the start of the product, we had a sort of one go-to product and one sort of playlist for the first few months that we just stuck to because we knew it was working. And now almost every tour, we have to make sure the tunes are a little bit different, the moves are a bit different. Thankfully now it's not just me. It used to just be me, so the pressure was just on me.
Yeah.
All of our hosts have different tunes, routes. Everyone's got their own little kind of quirks. So that it's good because when people come back, every tour genuinely is different. Different things happen, and yeah, I like that. It's and we have specialist themes as well. So
yeah, and I suppose you'll find with your team, you'll have they'll all bring their own little quirky moments to it as well. It's we've got a picture up here with, of course, you with your trumpet.
My trumpet, my beloved. The trumpet. The trumpet's in for repair at the moment. It's out of service. Yeah, it is. I need to get a new trumpet.
Has it had a blowout?
It's had a blowout. Yes, it has.
When in Rome,
So yeah, so there's like 3 others. That's Edinburgh, obviously, and then So who designed the colourful outfits? Was that you?
No, I can take zero credit for any of our branding at all. Jay is the legend behind our website and making things look pretty. There's only so much he can do making me look pretty, but
he's tried.
I mean, and yellow. Why yellow? Yellow is the least thinning colour ever.
But it stands out. I mean, you look at Edinburgh is quite grey and sandstony. So canary yellow is going to stand out. So
We'll take the
Yeah, we were
tram picture.
very lucky. The tram, yeah, the beloved tram. That was a great day out, dancing on the tram for the Fringe.
Yeah, and you and the trumpet as well. Do you
Oh,
who that is? That's other performers. Like there's a guy with a lasso on it, and
like a cow.
yeah, he's a lovely guy. He works all year round on the Royal Mile. He's one of the buskers there. He does a kind of straight jacket magic escape show. The lady in the white, I think she's in that picture. I can't see her, but
Yeah.
she's one of the statues on the Royal Mile. She's really cool. So it was actually lovely to spend time with those guys, to get to know them a little bit. All these characters that we dance past every day, and then actually to meet them and hear their stories is kind of fascinating.
It is, eh? It's like a family, isn't it? People who are on the Royal Mile, especially during the Fringe. But most of them, like you said, they're all year round, aren't they? The statues and the acts, and you guys know each other, don't you?
Yeah, there's definitely a sort of hardcore epicenter of the performers that are there all year round. There aren't that many of us, actually. A lot of the guys that come in are just for the summer. Obviously, a lot more come in for the Fringe, but there are some very sort of seasonal guys that it's a bit like, if you live here in Leith, you're not really, you can live here for 20, 30 years, but you're not a Leither unless you were born here.
Yes.
And the Royal Mile's a bit like that as well. It's like, unless you're here all year, you're not part of the Royal Mile mob.
Yeah.
Unless you've been in the snow in February.
They don't take you serious because you're from Leith, right?
Oh, no one ever takes me seriously. And I wish you could tell from my accent. I'm like somewhere between Michael McIntyre and Boris Johnson. I'd never get away with being a Leither.
Yeah, so but unfortunately, we've got to talk about a lot isn't going to happen this year. We talk about the Fringe, we're talking the Tattoo, Fringe, all the festivals. Looks like it's not going to happen this year. Do you have a contingency plan or smaller?
I don't know. We're taking it every day as it comes.
Yeah, I didn't mean to put
as a company. Yeah, as a company, we're very lucky. As I say, we don't have really any overheads. The team are just dying to get out and do what they do. Of course they are. But until we're told we can do it safely, there's literally nothing we can do. Entertaining people from home with Disco in Furlough, I think is the best that we can do at the moment. Just crossing fingers, really, and just eating too much at home, just baking too much bread and cakes.
The more people eat, the more they need the tours afterwards, and you need to come with some aerobic booze.
Yeah, I know. Well, to be fair, I've been jogging for the first time in my 43-year history. So some good things are coming out of this, albeit very slowly.
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Cool. And I think you sort of miss the interaction as well. Doing what you do with the groups of people, you're going to have, like partners. One will be more into it than the other. You're going to have mum who wants to do all the Irene Cara moves and thinks she's in Flashdance, and you're going to have the kids who do the whole, oh, mum. We've got a picture here of, looks like a mum and a daughter, and mum's just going absolutely crazy, arms in the air. And you've got daughters going, oh, seriously? It's
the teenagers. The teenagers that are moping around at the back just dying.
Yeah. But you find eventually they come around,
Yeah, we talked about this early on. Alan Cross, who runs, he's an amazing jazz singer. He runs our Liverpool wing. We talked about this early on. We were talking about introverts, people that come on the tour, and sometimes we get corporate events where people haven't really been told what it is, and they're just kind of thrown this surprise by somebody in the office. So inevitably, on a group of 20 people, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, introverts that wouldn't necessarily normally want to do this.
Yeah.
And quite often they can look sort of miserable the whole way around the tour, but then more often than not, at the end, they're the people that will email you to say they had the best time ever.
Yeah.
And just because people don't necessarily show that they're having an amazing time, it doesn't mean that their day hasn't gone from there to here. Yeah. They just don't like to show it.
Do you actually, when you're on the tours, do you obviously see the mood and then kind of think these tunes are like, ABBA's going well, or I don't think ABBA is for this crowd, and then you change it around? Do you have the possibility to really be flexible on that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, we can do and do. It's a little bit horses for courses. We're pretty good if you watch the crowd sort of forming before we start the tour, you can generally get a vibe from the age, time of day,
Yeah.
roughly which way the tour is going to go. Whether it's if there's a lot of young faces, then you want to keep it slightly chartier than if you're if it's a 60 plus tour. There's no point in playing Dua Lipa. It's going to go over everyone's head, or Furlough Rider. Thank you very much. I can keep these coming. This is all I've got. This is all I've got on my day.
As much as we would love to, I think we're running out of time.
Let's end on a massive low.
You always keep them wanting more.
So do you have a
exactly
tune
right.
that, say, like, because again, it must be, for you, it must be hard to always be up on your high, and like, how do you do the tours daily?
During the Fringe, yes, absolutely. This kind of time of year, under normal circumstances, we'd probably be Friday, Saturdays, and maybe a corporate or a sort of a private party during the week. But no, you know what? We sort of joke in the business. You can go into doing this job in the worst mood possible, but it's almost impossible not to be swung around by the music and the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of figured, yeah. But you have your own little song where you kind of like, okay, today I need my pick-me-up song at the beginning. Is that how you do it for yourself even?
I've got a little bit. We have we use The Greatest Show from The Greatest Showman is one of our sort of. It's sort of the builder before the show. It's like the pre-show start music. And we used it at the Fringe last year. And you know what? It's the weirdest thing. If I hear it, I always get the slight first burst of adrenaline. That's pretty cool. And actually, recently, the Weather Girls version of I'm So Excited. We're playing that in Disco Inferno this week. That's top secret preview knowledge for you as the intro music. And that's got a new little vibey thing going for me.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, that's good. Well, hopefully, things keep going along with the Disco Inferno.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and just thank you very much for giving us some time. Just looking at those hanging top hats are really great. Your lights.
All right, yeah. Thank you very much. Yes, they are. No, it's to cover my. Let's see if I can get myself into one. Does that work?
Woo-hoo, yes, it works.
That's all right. Very good.
There you are. Yeah, so thank you again for giving us the chance to have a chat and get to know you a little bit better. And
a total pleasure. Thanks very much.
We're definitely there this Friday. I'm sure about that.
Yeah. And for adding
great. Thank you so much.
Our day.
Cool. We'll just quickly announce who the next guest is, and then we're going to be back with you.
Cool. Well, thank you. It's been literally half an hour. So Thursday, of course, we've got our usual chat at 3:00, and it will be with
Jutta Norris, and we're talking about Glasgow. She's been out on her bike with Doug, her husband, and she's been taking amazing pictures, and she's going to take you around Glasgow, along her favourite routes.
Yeah, not all the big, well-known places. We want to try and get to some of the more little out-of-the-way places, which we think are really cool, that sort of often get overlooked.
Yeah.
So,
and Jutta is the woman to talk you through it.
Yes. So it'll be different bars, cafes, markets, and little theatres and places out of the way. So make sure you're with us at 3:00 on Thursday.
Bye.